Hello friends, how are you? Hope you are doing well. So let us start one more case study for sustainability report 2022 for Etihad Airways. We'll see what is covered in the report in detail. Let us go one by one. So this report review or analysis of the report can be useful for all the ESG and sustainability professionals or learners or students, those who are interested to learn how to design and develop the ESG strategy, sustainability strategy, policies and procedures and guidelines, and basically the framework in the company or organization, the structure of ESG basically, and how to audit and assess or assure the transparency of the data or the information which provided or covered in the report. Okay, so those informations which covered in this report can be useful for all the ESG and sustainability students. So moving on, this is about the introduction of the company, but first see the leadership statement here from Group CEO. What is written here, I'll make it zoom this for you. Okay, as we all know, Etihad Airways, the national carrier of UAE, has been operating since 2003, and in 22 Etihad connected to 68 destinations across 45 countries with a fleet of 71 Boeing and Airbus aircrafts, and led an extensive sustainability strategy focused on enabling industry-wide transformation. So this is about the operations or activities of the company. Right now, this is somewhat more important from the sustainability reporting learning perspective. Like, purpose of the report is what exactly? So it's not only to publish the accomplishments in sustainability for Etihad. It has been produced to keep the company accountable and demonstrate transparently the duty we have the environment for impacts, what company is responsible for. So they are talking about the impacts what company is generating, okay, or producing in terms of environmental care or societal development or sustainable development. Okay, so we will see in further in the report that what is covered and what is not covered. Okay, throughout this document you can see the reader can understand the mission and think critically about what opportunities the company might have missed, what ideas we haven't tried, and what challenges must overcome actually. So this report should be read by anyone anywhere hoping to make a valuable and meaningful difference in the world. And again, one more commitment is there. We commit to leaving no stone unturned, commit to all calls to arms, and commit to celebrate the efforts of our peers both inside and outside the industry. So this is the leadership statement focusing on the aviation sustainability and aim to inform the peers in the hopes of making progress collectively actually. Moving forward, we will see the table of contents here. Now, what is covered in this report? The facts and figures for the year 2022. Now, this is something about the company, then sustainability principles, outlining sustainability reporting, measuring drivers of sustainability, aligning sustainability with net zero targets for 2050, and then sustainability, the journey so far the company has gone through, okay, and Greenliner program also we will see. Then sustainable aviation fuel we will be talking about. There is a lot of information covered here. Sustainable aviation fuel, solution driven, okay, testing sustainability, all this information we will see. For the world, like what is the fleet, fuel efficiency, guest experience, innovation, biodiversity, all this information also we will come to know. Now then, benefits of aviation, the power of words for the world. So there are certain other aspects also which is covered in the positioning section actually. And in the annexure, what is the scope of the report and the references also we will come to know about this from the report. Now moving forward, in 2022, okay, what are the performance highlights? We will see that. So as the company was talking about, connected the capital city Abu Dhabi to 68 destinations in 2022, 71 aircrafts, okay, one of the youngest in the world with an average age of 6.4 years, 68 destinations, 581,000 tons of cargo flown, 71 Boeing and Airbus aircrafts, 45 countries, 6.4 average fleet age, and 10.3 million passengers flown actually. Now, related to the sustainability, if we see here, we see some eco flights operated, over 40 eco flights, and so that some information is available related to the innovation, testing of technology in collaboration with the new partners, and again closing loop. So following the circularity principles or circular economy principle, the information is available. Etihad mangrove forest, so plantation of the mangrove, that information also as per the CSR plans. Okay, sustainable aviation fuel, so continuing developing the roadmap for that. Etihad net zero flight, so Washington to Abu Dhabi pushing book and claim, so that also we will come to know. And the recognition in the industry related to the sustainability, we will understand that information. Then moving next, we will be talking about the principles of sustainability, where we see certain valuable information with respect to the sustainable framework of the company. Okay, so what is the information we see here? Let me take you through. Students, it's very important to understand the ESG and sustainability structure of the company. What are the commitments from the top leadership? So first we see the company is committed to achieve high standards of sustainability. How? By aligning with the global framework, the goals of United Arab Emirates, UAE, and also aiming to demonstrate excellence in the sustainability under the banner of UAE actually. Then again, one more commitment to maintain thought leadership in innovation and sustainability. Also, strategy is built upon expertise gathered from partners, industry peers, experiences, critics, local and global governance policy also. So they might have the different partnerships and collaborations with multiple stakeholders. With sustainability central to Etihad's long-term vision, so definitely a long-term value creation model might have been adopted by the company, and there was a discussion related to the sustainability strategy of the company actually. Now, for Etihad, it is written here very clearly, sustainability refers to the effort to reduce the impact of aviation on the environment, okay, through the pursuit of our 4 pillars. What are the 4 pillars? First one is decarbonization, then waste management, biodiversity, and wildlife. Okay, so these are the 4 pillars, very important information from the sustainability audit and assurance perspectives also. Then we see an advocacy and innovation as defined in outlining sustainability while maintaining the ability to fulfill the obligations as a business. So there are 4 pillars. Now what are the 4 pillars? Decarbonization, waste management, biodiversity and wildlife, advocacy and innovation. Advocacy and innovations. Okay, so these are the 4 pillars. Under these pillars, we'll be seeing multiple important topics and the relevant information associated with them. What are the principles of the company related to the sustainability? Like we are focusing on emissions reduction program, okay, aligning with voluntary roadmaps and frameworks, then collaborating with the UAE industrial ecosystem to maintain thought leadership, also being transparent and proactive in sustainability issues, and continually developing a strategic roadmap for the target. So now what are the objectives of the company? Definitely focusing on net zero by 2050, economic viability, sustainability roadmaps towards 2050, creating initiatives with positively contributions to the guest experience and engagement, and supporting UAE and Abu Dhabi wildlife and biodiversity, and involving supply chain also in this sustainability journey actually. So it's very important information from the sustainability learning perspectives actually. So let us see now outlining the sustainability structure within the company. It's again very important topic for all the sustainability management, ESG management students or learners. You see there are 4 pillars as we discussed about earlier: decarbonization, waste management, biodiversity and wildlife, and advocacy and innovation. So these are the 4 pillars covered under the strategy of sustainability of the company actually. Now what are the sustainability criteria basically associated with these 4 pillars? So let me zoom it for you so you might understand easily, like initiatives, how you reduce carbon or GHG emissions directly or indirectly, reducing Etihad Airways reportable emissions through approved and monitored industry schemes. Okay, so what can be the schemes? Now these initiatives may include can offer a direct reduction of emissions in sector indirect emission reductions also, but does not include initiative which reduce emissions from non-reportable scope areas. Okay, also cannot reduce emissions directly from Etihad's operation. So certain important information available related to this particular pillar here. Now we see the waste management concept here, where we talk about certain initiatives like reducing single-use plastic and waste production directly, also supporting the streamlining of waste management processes, focusing on reduction of the waste productions. Okay, throughout the industry schemes, based on the certain schemes which might have been applied. So what may include initiatives like reduction waste productions and improve waste management not directly associated from Etihad, also reduce associated with excess consumptions also. Okay, and this is covering not included initiatives like cannot be proven to reduce waste by understanding the lack of data, third party validation and otherwise. Also for biodiversity and wildlife, maybe certain initiative like maintain compliance, improve environmental biodiversity, reduce pollution, improve Etihad Airways biodiversity standards directly, or does not include like cannot be aligned to an external policy, industry practices, cannot be vetted in a robust and traceable way, and also cannot be proven to improve areas for Etihad influence. Then advocacy and innovation, focusing on ESG trust building, improving reporting capabilities, supporting reduction of emissions from non-reportable scope areas, also demonstrate alignment efforts also. Okay, so what is not included in initiative, like do not align with the sustainability messaging of Etihad. Okay, cannot be proven to improve supply chain or areas under the Etihad influence actually. Now if you see the governance side, there is something very important here from the governance perspective, like organizational structure, representation, reputation, comprehensive and thorough, and collaborative and innovative. So there are certain structural steps while we are talking about the governance structure, like an executive mandate to incorporate sustainability into organizational goals. So it's written very, very clearly that integrate sustainability into the organizational strategy or organizational goals actually. Okay, also the airline has established a dedicated sustainability department, very important students, responsible coordinating the efforts of the entire organization representing the airline externally. Also we talk about the comprehensiveness and thorough. So the participation from external companies to work alongside Etihad in exploring the opportunity. So basically we work on risk, opportunity and impact concept here. Also collaborative and innovative. So the airline deploys several public facing brands such as Etihad, Mangroves, Conscious Choices to explore the technical and guest focused opportunities also. Then we talk about the behavior, which plays a very important role in terms of sustainability implementation. So talking about the sustaining sustainability, managing sustainability, protecting sustainability and corporate sustainability. So again these discussions are related to the 4 pillars what we have identified, and which is something very much related to the governance section, to how to make this governance structure strong in the organization. So let us move forward. Under the section of reporting sustainability, we see here Etihad Aviation Group, like what are the carbon footprints. So here the information is available from 2019 till 2022. The business data all available, emissions measured in the measuring unit of tons CO2 per year actually, or annually. So what is the scope, source, measuring unit, conversion factor, emission factor basically, and 2019 to 22 information is there. So for scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, if you see that information, maybe I'll zoom it for you. I hope you can see it clearly. So like in the scope 1, if you see actual aircraft fuel burn in the kilograms and ground vehicle in the liter, that information is available. In the scope 2, we talk about the property electricity in the stage 1, stage 2, and distinct cooling towers, potable water. So these are the covered areas under scope 2. Then waste to landfill and transportation is covered in the scope 3. So if you take an example like ground vehicles, so the fuel which was burned in terms of the liters, and this is the conversion factors. So if you see that information, this is in 2019, and this is in 2022. So there is a decrease from left to right. Also, if you see the electricity part, okay, in the stage 1 and stage 2 kilowatt hours, moving from 2019 to 23, you see there is a drop here. Okay, then waste to landfill also, if you see the information in 2019, this was the waste sent to the landfill, then reduction, then again there is an increase, and still there is an increase also. Okay, now there was a asterisk mark here for the stage 2. So let us see what was the definition. So data displayed has been divided into stage 1 and stage 2 sources. Stage 1 relates to those which are consistent with the previous year data reporting, and while stage 2 relates to additional sources added to enhance data collection and reporting process. Actually, if you see the business data, okay, if we see the associated business data here, like from 21-22 comparison and the deviations, the changes, the flights, you see the figure, there is an increase of plus 27%. Passenger carried 6.8 million in 21, and in 22 10.3 million. So there is a big jump of 190%. Okay, and the fleet carried, there is a decrease of minus 20% actually. So this is something very important from the emissions related data perspective actually. Then we see outlining sustainability related to the energy consumption. We talk about the multiple facilities of Etihad, where we talk about the headquarters, airways centers, crew briefing centers, airway plaza, aviation training, warehouse. So there are, electricity consumption, district cooling consumptions, or potable water consumption details are also available, and then associated tons of carbon dioxide equivalents actually. Okay, so if we see this information geographically wise, residences also, so this information you can see related to the tons of CO2 equivalent emissions actually. Again, related to the waste and net emissions, that information also available in the report actually. So very important, students, to understand what are the tons of CO2 equivalents associated related to the energy consumption. Moving forward, now how to measure the sustainability? So what is the information covered under the section of measuring sustainability? Yeah, so specific information is available related to the emission side and other information also. If you see here, what is covered here is scope 1, 2, 3. Okay, what is the definition, what are the activities covered under the different scopes. Okay, if you see the direct emission from owned sources like fuel burn and ground vehicles, then scope 2 indirect emission from purchased energy from the owned sources actually, like utilities and ground energy, and scope 3 indirect emission from upstream and downstream activity. So basically transportation and the waste side information is there. So if you see these diagrams, this is average Etihad airway carbon emissions, like we can say tons of CO2 per year emissions you can see here. So scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 information available here, and the data from 2019 to 22 is also available for scope 1 and 2 and 3 actually. Yeah, and if you see here, so in this information, like this is done in an attempt to ensure the encompassing nature of a strategy, if it is all possible to encourage conscious and sustainable behaviors actually. So among travelers, both flying, day-to-day flying, day-to-day lives, activating, building momentum around activities which secure progress toward scope 1 reductions, these innovations actually. Okay, so reporting in each scope is based on greenhouse gas protocol standards. However, as mentioned in reporting sustainability, the company still develop the reporting of the activities, each scope, and do not yet have an existing comprehensive inventory of all activities. So this is very important. If the company has gone for ESG and sustainability audit and assurance. So these statements are very, very useful, and the student, you record it in the audit reports also. Okay. Also, while the importance of initiative which target scope 1 reduction is clear, deployed a number of brands which target more humanitarian and social elements of sustainability, such as Conscious Choice and Etihad Mangroves. Actually, we see certain initiatives like and before that, yes, what are the drivers of sustainability for the organization, that information also available. So if I zoom it and you see what are the drivers of improving carbon intensity and emissions impact, you see certain fuel efficient engines, greater load factors, modern aircrafts, reduced weight, flight path optimization, alternative energy sources, and carbon activities or offsetting programs we are talking about. So how to reduce the carbon intensity, so that information is available here in the report actually. So if you see here, very important information aligned with the SBTi sector guidance. The general rule is the faster the sector is expected to grow and the faster its GHG emission intensity must decrease also. Also, the company has sustainable development scenarios to align energy balance, sector power generations. That information is also very useful. As per the International Energy Association, reducing emissions in long distance transport mode is particularly difficult because of the power and energy density requirements. So the challenges oftentimes reveal solutions also. Okay. So there are certain details related to the carbon offsetting program, Etihad ESG loans, emissions trading schemes, ETS, and science-based target initiatives actually. So if you see the emission trading scheme, these are market-based measures to control emissions through economic penalties or incentive programs, and the monitoring, reporting, and verification, so MRV process for complete and correct data is extremely important actually. And also SBTi initiative has been taken. So what is covered in this? So if you see, it is an initiative focused on legitimating net zero targets or sustainability related emissions from organizations, and is designed to keep them accountable through evaluation. So to evaluate, to keep the organization accountable, the companies are going for SBTi, science-based target initiatives actually. Okay. Terminology explained in sustainable aviation, so that information is also available. Maybe this is the key materiality topic for the organization or concerned area for the organization. Then definitely there is certain information related to the net zero also available here. Okay. So this is the Etihad's net zero forecast, very important diagram. Okay. So this side we see million tons of CO2 equivalents per annum. Okay. And this is the year-wise approach actually. And by 2050, what's going to happen, what are the goals, and this is what we can see here. So Etihad net zero target roadmap, emission mitigation requirements, okay, 80% of emission, these informations are also available here actually. Now what is the journey so far company has gone through? So started in 2011. Etihad is the founding member of the Sustainable Bioenergy Research Consortium to explore clean and sustainable fuel. So the journey has started from here. Okay. And then moving on, the different initiatives, different projects has been conducted by the organization, and the target for 2050 is zero net carbon actually. So they won many multinational awards also. Okay. And which have been highlighted, and certain other recognitions also covered in this actually. So if you see Etihad Green Liner program, so what is that Green Liner program? This was announced by Etihad Airways, the Etihad Green Liner program by the like in 2019 actually, and by the end of 2021, the program had gained 50 partners, and by the end of 22 had operated over 40 eco flights. Then The company was recognized as the Environmental Airline of the Year by Airline Ratings also. Then there is certain information related to the multiple business partners or competitors or peers is available here actually. Okay, and we see certain information related to the sustainable aviation fuel. What is the company's commitment? What are their management actions, leadership actions? Okay, objectives, goals, everything is defined here actually. Sustainable aviation fuel, that information is often seen as a core step in decarbonization roadmap of the aviation. So this information related to the sustainable aviation fuel is available here. So what is SAF production pathways and how they differ, that is defined here. How are SAF benefits calculated, that is also covered here actually. And there is a eligible fuel like OCI eligible fuel. Okay, so that information also available here. Okay, still we are talking about some more initiatives like our unsustainable solutions. And unsustainable solution like the catch, challenges, the supply, the accessibility, the cost, everything associated is going to be discussed here, or it is covered here in this report itself actually. Okay, so if you will read this, so it is written here very clearly that compared to traditional jet airways jet A1 fuel, SAF can be priced anywhere from 4 to 8 times more. This is largely due to the cost of feedstock, renewable energies, and capital cost for building production facilities also. Okay, but again, as the demand of SAF can also be influenced by target setting and net zero goals, incentives for producers to increase supply is also vital here actually. Then in next we see here like Nestle airline collaboration agreement and other memorandums of understanding or collaboration details are also available here. Okay, then going forward we talk about the book and claim. Okay, where we are much concerned about, there are certain key parties and processes which are fundamental in book and claim. Each element is vital to support the development of a successful SAF economy actually. So if you see here, there are multiple stakeholders and their steps are given here actually for this side, right? So book and claim process. So here we see feedstock aggregation, fuel, fossil fuel extraction, fuel production, blending the SAF, well to tank approach we are talking about here. Okay, moving onwards. So there is a complete diagram related to sustainable aviation fuel and book and claim infrastructure actually. Then low carbon aviation fuels we are talking about, and reduction of carbon footprint actually. So that information captured here actually. Then supply, accessibility, cost, everything we discuss here. Then what is Etihad EY130 net zero flight actually? What was the idea behind this? So if you see 216 tons CO2 burned on the flight, this particular flight, US to UAE, and EY130 was the flight number. So what was the approach applied in this? Aircraft was, engine was, weight reduction, ground optimizations, and then continuous takeoff, optimized flight level, direct routing. Okay, so this is the information related to the net zero flight actually, and reduced flaps, continuous descent, single engine taxi, and 224 mangroves are certain initiatives associated with this actually. And certain valuable figures like you can see here, CO2 burned on the flight for this net zero flight we are talking about, offset by 27,000 USD SAF, and 5 tons of CO2 reductions. Additional reduction was there. Okay, 98.2% flight food carbon intensity and 94 ton CO2 emissions containing non-CO2. And okay, so that information is also given here. Net zero flight, then culmination of Etihad Greenliner program 2017-22. So there are certain associated discussions related to this. We can see here knowledge sharing and lesson learned. So related to the sustainable aviation fuel, the information is available in the right hand side. For biodiversity, yes, fuel efficiency, fleet and innovation for everybody. Yeah, the information is available here for knowledge sharing and lessons actually. Okay, moving forward, the sum of many parts, the work of many hands. So here we are talking about there are multiple topics which we discussed earlier, like fuel efficiency, customer experience, innovation, biodiversity, consciousness, choice, and on the ground actually. So this information related to the further discussion with the relevant stakeholders actually. Modern and efficient fleet 2022, Boeing 787 Greenliner, Airbus changes, streamlined and adaptable fleet. There are multiple initiatives associated with the relevant topics highlighted here actually. Looking forward, densification, Airbus 380, sustainability impacts are there, so future fleets, and that all information available here actually. Efficient operations, flight planning, efficient airspace, efficient flying, efficient loading, proactive maintenance, weight reduction, everything is going to contribute directly or indirectly to the GHG emission reduction program actually. Then we see extensive testing, flight planning, efficient airspace, efficient flying, all the key management or strategic actions are highlighted here actually, like dynamic loading, proactive maintenance and weight reduction. So these are certain figures are available for this actually, flight operations and other information which you can see. Then we come on to the circularity part, or applying the circular economy principles into the business. So closing the loop for recycling and products actually. So if you see this diagram, it's like this. Okay, so it means the target by following the life cycle perspectives or life cycle assessment to reduce the waste from the different process steps actually. Okay, so purpose products, we see here fully rotable, no single use plastic on the main dining tray, 35% larger pillow with the soft cotton pillow covers, closed loops recycling like circular economy for all reusable plastic products, move towards locally producing equipments, first in the region with 100% reusable dining tray, include lids, and also focus on high quality experience and enhancement across all the sectors. So these are certain key aspects associated with this particular materiality topic actually. Then we see certain more initiatives like blue sky verification, Satvia decision X for net zero. Then what was the flight modification trajectories analyzed, avoided and successfully modifying the flights, average benefit per modified flight, and equivalent to these many days of continuous wide body flights actually. So there is certain important information related to this. So related to net zero, what is the scientific proof, details are given here. Effective introduction, flight plan, collaboration, modified flight plan if there, and flight reporting and post flight reporting information also. Moving on, here is some certain social value creation, like involving communities and societies and the internal stakeholder. So there is an Etihad mangrove forest where the plantation was planned for mangroves actually. Okay, if you see certain interesting figures are there, like 68,916 guests and partners planted these many numbers of mangroves in the forest actually, and the mangrove store 3 to 5 times more carbon per equivalent area than tropical forests. Also mangrove sequester 14% of the carbon sequestration by the global ocean actually, and also was captured mangrove planted by the, if you see here, 384.7 kg CO2 was reduced basically. Then 10x times mangrove and coastal wetland annually sequester carbon at a rate 10 times greater than mature tropical forest. So there is a very huge demand for mangroves planted actually. We see Etihad mangrove forest. Okay, this is the best initiative which you can see here for the company with respect to the biodiversity. Moving on, so these are certain details related to the mangrove forest. Yeah, very useful information. Then there are some other initiatives like conscious choices, carbon click, and sorry. So if you see here, what is covered under carbon click, 3,964 climate friendly transactions, 3,747 tons of CO2 was offset, and carbon neutral air kilometers are highlighted here actually. So now this is something related to the social side, empowering the workforce, energy saving system, reduce food waste. Okay, so this is something very valuable from the social aspects actually. Also from the economic perspective, we can see certain information. Then tourism, innovation, all the key business strategic aspects have been covered in this information what is written down here. So here in this paragraph writing nothing but only the management actions which you might have seen earlier for this particular report, and the information included here also. So there is no enough, still there is a lot of room to improvement, call to arms and a million things. These are certain programs which company might have conducted. Okay, let's take an example, understanding the financial and commercial implication of the SAF, and challenges do not overcome the responsibility or urgency, but with emissions from aviation expected to rise as much as 20% by 2030, maintaining 2019 levels would require a 15% substitution of sustainable aviation fuel actually. Okay, so I think that's it for the particular report of Etihad Airways. Okay, 2022 report, where we have seen multiple aspects associated with sustainability and ESG. Thank you very much, friends.